everyone, and thank you for coming today. We're here to address the illegal dumping, the agreement between the county, Dauphin County Commissioners, county, and the city of Harrisburg. Let me first start by saying the issue of illegal dumping is one which I get some of the most calls and complaints about, especially from our city residents. It's a literal and figurative stain on our community and our neighborhoods. Illegal dumping ruins the quality of life for our law-abiding citizens. So that's why I'm thrilled and frankly relieved we are addressing it today. I'm pleased to announce that the city of Harrisburg and Dauphin County have come to an agreement where the county will provide us a full-time illegal dumping enforcement officer. This position was previously a county-wide position. However, Commissioners Pries, Saylor, and Hartwick recognized not only that incredibly hard work that's already been done by our public works team to address illegal dumping, but the monumental task of trying to keep up with it. This position will be dedicated on a full-time basis to the city of Harrisburg and will allow us to fight back against the people who choose to blight our neighborhoods. Commissioner Pries and Public Works Director Dave West will have additional information and will be able to go into some more specifics for you today. I want to again thank our 3 county commissioners who continue to show time and time again how much they value our city and how grateful I am for their partnership and support. And a big thank you to Director West and his team, which is out on the street literally every day cleaning up tons and tons of trash. They are constantly doing their part to make Harrisburg beautiful. Lastly, to the people doing this illegal dumping, we can see you. We will find you, and you will be stopped. Thank you. I now turn it over to Commissioner Pries.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Dauphin County is the capital county, and Harrisburg City is the capital of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The state starts here, and Harrisburg is beginning to thrive under the leadership of the Williams administration. But challenges remain, and challenges are being addressed. One such challenge, illegal dumping TVs, sofas, refrigerators, other items off the back of a truck into neighborhoods throughout the city of Harrisburg and Dauphin County are now being addressed, and we are taking it on full time. It's shameful and disrespectful act to people, to residents' property, to our towns and city, and to the county. We could choose to ignore, or we could choose to take action. We choose to take action. We're joined today as officials who are aware of the problems being pointed out to us from residents around Dauphin County and the city, such as Rafiqah Muhammad and her team working with the folks at the state, continuing to update us on locations. And it's time for everyone to come together and work together to be part of the solution. We're also joined today by District Attorney Chardo, who has pledged his support against illegal dumping on behalf of our communities throughout Dauphin County. And DA Chardo, I will let you know, the commissioners were just at an event at Steelton-Highspire High School, and the field adjoining the high school, Steel High property. Somebody just went there in the last couple days and dumped 2 truckloads of roofing materials. And the superintendent contacted us and is working with Director Kepler and Assistant Director Kelly McGonnell. And we also have Pete Baltimore here, our enforcement officer, that are working on that with the folks at Steel High. So it continues to happen throughout the county. And as the city is on the rise and reemerges under the leadership of Mayor Wanda Williams, the county will benefit. And it starts in the community, it starts in the neighborhoods, block by block, it starts here. The businesses will begin to benefit, the residents, the schools, it'll be a domino effect, and it starts now. Harrisburg on the rise is just a phrase, but we are all committed to making it a reality. And currently, we have an environmental enforcement officer, Pete Baltimore, who has been responsible for the entire county. He will now be designated to the city only and already has a lot of familiarity here in the city. Dauphin County Commissioners will sign a memorandum of understanding at our November 2nd meeting, and that will be effective after the city signs theirs. The city and county will split this position 50-50 and all other associated costs. A second environmental enforcement officer position will be created and designated for the entire county after that. And that job is expected to be created and posted in November. The county will fund that one 100%. Key duties of this position for the city and within the city confines: issue warnings and citations, testify in court, work with the police department, do surveillances, visit dump sites and disposal facilities around the county, private haulers, businesses around the county, and specific individual residences. Both of the EEOs will be county employees and report to our Director of Solid Waste and Recycling. And we are standing here together, taking pride in Harrisburg City moving forward and Dauphin County as a whole. And it is a true team effort here, working with the administration and my colleagues, Chad Saylor and George Hartwick, and the District Attorney's Office. You've had enough, we've had enough. We take action starting today. This time I'd like to call up Commissioner Saylor for additional comments. Sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Pries. I think as you've heard today, the message is loud and clear. If you're looking for someplace to dump your junk, don't do it here in the city of Harrisburg. Don't do it in Dauphin County, because we are now watching and action will be taken. Enough is enough. And it is only by working together, city and the county working together, that we're going to be, this is a big problem, and we're going to tackle it, and we're going to do it by working together. I just want to point out as a call to action to our residents, if you see it, if you see someone dumping their junk, you got to give Pete a call. All right, here's the number, 717-982-6772. That's the number to call if you see illegal dumping, to get it reported and get the wheels in motion to put a stop to it. So thank you all, and now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner George Hartwick.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is just another example of stepping forward and having a single mantra of as goes our city, so does our region, and working together cooperatively and sharing resources and placing priorities on matters that will improve quality of life. We can get much more done if we work together. And that's one thing to say it. It's another thing to clearly demonstrate it through significant investment and a level of priority which is commensurate with that statement. And it's no doubt that we've got the right guy for the job. I mean, you know, we talk about a former state police officer, somebody who is very, very keen and understanding of the investigatory process, what's going to be necessary in order to provide the evidence for prosecution. And the word's going to get out quick when we successfully move forward and attempt to remedy the situation with those individuals who are the larger infractors, the individuals who are the larger violators. But let me tell you, you know, government can't do things alone. It's the eyes and the ears of the community that are really going to be the ones that are going to be the most helpful in being able to move this forward. And to do it in a way that's anonymous, potentially, to do it in a way that can highlight some of these concerns. And you know, if there's a concern about having to get involved, I'd like to make sure we're addressing that by getting it in the hands of professionals, Mr. Dave West and Mr. Pete Baltimore, so they can take it over. So without the cooperation of residents in the community, and then ultimately, without the cooperation of keeping it clean in the community, because it's one thing, and I've been involved in many cleanups across the county. Just was involved in one in Steelton a couple of weeks ago. If we don't maintain it, if we don't encourage our kids to be engaged and involved, if we don't figure out a way to work with individuals who are re-entering our community from the prison system and working with folks like Kia Hansard and putting folks to work to be able to continue the cleanup process, it's not going to stay clean. And from my perspective, we need to make that level of an effort from a community's perspective to say, we're making the investment to try to clean it up. We're going to try to rid those folks of illegal dumping. But what zip code you live in shouldn't determine how clean outside your home is. I mean, the idea that everybody deserves a clean, sanitary, safe space, and that rising tide and mentality lifts all ships. When you start to clean up certain parts of a neighborhood, people take ownership in being able to make sure they police it. And then we have the support of enforcement officers when people violate, I think is the recipe for the ability to continue to clean up some of the trouble and challenging areas that have continued to be a problem in my hometown of Steelton and the city of Harrisburg and through municipalities. And again, I want to make this clear, this is just not a city problem. So don't make it just a city problem. There's illegal dumping that are going on in creeks and other locations throughout all of Dauphin County. But make it clear, there are some cleanup needs in the city of Harrisburg, and all of us know that they exist. And to start somewhere is critically important. And to start with this kind of partnership with the city, with the district attorney, obviously with Mr. Baltimore and Mr. West, I think we've got the semblance of a good plan, as well as Kelly Wolf from our solid waste department being able to oversee the entire initiative. So we're grateful to be able to make this announcement. I think it's the first as it relates to this in many future cooperative relationships with the city, but it's also something that we're very excited about, because as we lift one property value, these things become contagious. Let's let the community continue to catch fire, let that energy be pervasive, and let folks all be a part of the effort to clean up, revitalize, and improve the values of our city. The people that live there deserve it, our neighbors deserve it, our community deserves it. So with that, I'd like to turn the microphone over to the Public Works Director of the City of Harrisburg, Mr. David West. David, good to see you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And again, as it's continued to be reiterated, that we want to put illegal dumpers on notice once again. We were here over a month ago and having the same conversation. We also have an enforcement team in place, and our surveillance cameras are up around the city. And we also have a team lead. We've created a team for illegal dumping within the department, within itself alone. My lead in this department, his name is Kevin Jackson. His former position here was a sanitation enforcement officer. He's currently sanitation supervisor for illegal dumping and blight throughout the city of Harrisburg, and will work very well with Mr. Baltimore and this team. We have organized efforts that we are throughout the city, and we want to let the residents and business owners know that we need your information. You will remain anonymous, and we will have those who are illegally dumping in our city convicted to the full extent of the law. We're coming, we're going to get you. You don't belong here, and you will not be here. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
And this didn't happen overnight. This was months of negotiations and conversations between Mayor Williams and the Board of Commissioners, and it came to fruition today, right now, as we make this announcement. But it also only happened, the mayor demanded that we have the full support from the district attorney's office, and Fran Chardo stepped up to the plate and said, you got it. You have 100% support from me and my office, and that's what enabled us to get to this point today, because you can throw out ordinances and say we're going to do it, but if you don't have the teeth and the support from the district attorney's office, then it's just all words. You can talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk, and nobody does it better here in Dauphin County than our district attorney, Fran Chardo. Fran? Thank you, sir.
Well, I'm proud to be a part of this effort, and it requires resources, and it requires the right person. And Pete Baltimore is the right person. I've worked with him for over 28 years. Corporal Baltimore, when I first met him at the state police, is the right person for this job. And he's going to examine these cases forensically, and he's going to be able to prove these cases. And that's why we're able to use anonymous tips, because he's going to prove these forensically, and we're going to identify these people that are committing these crimes. And that's the other part of the message, is I think a lot of the people in the past did not realize that these were criminal acts by dumping, and they are crimes, and we are going to address them as criminal acts with the help of Corporal Baltimore, who's going to identify the individuals, and we're going to make the arrests, and we're going to fully prosecute the cases. Thank you for getting the message out so that people will realize that these acts are crimes, and we're going to treat them as such. Thanks so much.
Now we'll direct a couple questions to Mr. Dave West, who is our Public Director.
Dave, what makes it so hard to actually hold people accountable? Because my understanding is, I mean, the hard part is somebody just rolls up, leaves a bunch of stuff, and then leaves, right?
Yes, the difficult aspect to that scenario is that no one wants to say who dumped this illegal dumping. No one wants to get any information. So we are on our hands trying to go through rubble, trying to find information. It's very difficult when we're not presently there when they're dumping, and we're not able to receive any information due to the dumping. That's the difficult task. But through surveillance that we have throughout the city, we're up and coming, and to even more surveillance that's coming soon, we have hotspots, and that throughout the city that we call hotspots, and that's where we're focusing on, along with this collaboration of the county and the city itself.
I mean, I know that you said that you installed cameras recently. Has that helped at all, or has it just continued to progress? I mean, are the cameras doing anything to help the problem?
Yes, they are. We have actually a couple of individuals and some footage that we are continuing to build on our investigation before we can have enough to have them prosecuted.
Dave, what's the cost to taxpayers in terms of, is it manpower, is it city, taxpayer dollars being spent to clean up these messes? So I think a lot of people just hear, oh, you're cleaning up illegal dumping. What is the actual cost to taxpayers?
The cost to the taxpayers is all the above. It's the illegal dumping itself, it's the cleaning up, it's the incinerator bill, it's everything that's involved is costing the taxpayers. That's why we need the taxpayers' help.
Do you have any update on the dumping of the rats in Steelton?
I have no knowledge of that.
I have a question. Are cars also being considered part of this illegal dumping? As in the city, as we all know, we have a lot of abandoned vehicles. So are we consider that also part of the illegal dumping process? And how would that be handled?
No, that's not a part of it. We have Officer Wells who handles that as far as the abandoned cars in the city of Harrisburg. To date, we've probably taken off about 60 cars off the street of Harrisburg. Okay? Any more questions?
What's the penalty for illegal dumping just for?
Well, it's going to vary depending on the circumstances, because there are different offenses that we're going to fit in, whether it's going to be a summary offense or we're going to go to a crimes code offense. So it's going to vary. It's going to depend on the circumstances.
So what
It's really going to vary, because some of them get really, really serious if we're talking about substantial damage. So I'm not going to get pigeonholed on that.
No,
I mean, it could get, in certain circumstances, if we're talking endangerment, it could get to felony territory.
Wait until we catch the illegal dumpers, then ask us. Okay? And then you'll come to court and see what District Attorney Fran Chardo imposes on them. But thank you, everyone, for coming out this morning. And I'd ask that any additional questions, please divert those to my Media Communications Director, Mr. Matt Mason. Thank you.
Thank you, man.